The Indiana Fever are officially championship contenders. I am fresh out of my sleep, inhaling all the news of Luka Doncic to the Lakers, which we'll talk about in another video. Very happy at that. But DeWanna Bonner has decided to sign with the Indiana Fever on a one-year deal, and this is a massive, massive move. I saw and hinted at in my last video that I did not think the Indiana Fever were done. DeWanna Bonner, many years in the league, I want to say 15-year veteran, multiple-time champion, was part of the Connecticut Sun, which eliminated the Fever last year from the playoffs. There was, a little physical skirmish with Caitlin and her, kind of jawing and being physical with each other. I like that stuff. I think it shows character, not willing to back down. So I think the Fever have locked all their moves in just in a way between adding DeWanna Bonner, Sophie Cunningham, and Natasha Howard in a way where it just feels like all the pieces complete. And inside of the Sophie Cunningham deal, there was a pick swap with Dallas, which the Fever received Jaylen Brown. So that's additional guard help off the bench, who, she's an excellent player. So I think they decided the core was Clark, Mitchell, Boston, and all we got to do is fill in the pieces. And these are vets with limited egos that are going to come in here, be professional, going to be tough. They're going to defend this squad on the court and, within the interpersonal stuff. Like nobody's going to be, trying this team the way they were getting tried last year. I think DeWanna Bonner can play the 3, the 4, or the 5 at times. She can stretch the floor as a stretch 4. She probably immediately slots into a starting position. Could use her off the bench, but I don't think that's going to be the move. I think it's going to be Boston, Howard, and then, Bonner. And then off the bench, we're going to get probably a combo of Sophie, Lexi, Jaylen Brown, and maybe some Grace Berger peppered in there. I think this is a move that I think silences a lot of the, bull talk that was going around the league as far as, the New York Times making these massive predictions about Indiana striking out, legacy media in the WNBA, and, various fan bases. No one wants to go play in Indiana. Well, how about it now? The Indiana Fever now are constructed in year 2 of Caitlin Clark's career to compete. This front office got in there and said, an ownership group, we saw what happened the rookie season. After that 1-9 start, this team became America's team behind Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, and Aliyah Boston. And what they're doing now is filling in all the gaps that prevented them from going further and opened this window way faster than a lot of people expected it to be opened. And the day that the Indiana Fever wins the championship, it is going to get nasty. Prepare now. If you are with the Fever now, it is time. I welcome anybody that wants to join up right now. But if you don't join up right now, be prepared for years of pain. Be prepared for years of this team just selling out every building, rewriting every history book, and winning lots and lots of games. Does it ensure a guaranteed championship? All these moves, they do not. I don't want to, to get that twisted. However, they have the tools to compete. Anyone can be beat. I firmly believe that. Like the great Bart Scott said, anyone can be beat. And when you put them on the court, I think this team fits together so interesting. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to watch this team in action. Just the ball's going to be swinging everywhere. There are going to be shooters everywhere, good decision makers everywhere, high intelligence players everywhere. And it's going to be just a combination of very unique, roster of their backgrounds, where they come from. I'm interested to see how all that blends together, right? And it becomes this team where you can't really just box them into being one kind of thing, either how they play or the people themselves. Like I think there's a little bit of a melting pot aspect of the Indiana Fever, which I really like. So I think that this DeWanna Bonner thing, and I'm shocked that she didn't end up going over to the Mercury. I thought that she would probably stick with Alyssa Thomas, but then again, they've had their own separate careers for a long time. I know they haven't gone together their whole careers and stuff like that, but that stuff is like the least of my concern, because it's like, all right, you play together, you don't, whatever. I'm here to watch basketball. So I think that this is a big move, and this is going to be the first of these kind of moves. She signs a 1-year deal. So this team for 2025 is still going to be different from what happens in 2026. But Natasha Howard and DeWanna Bonner coming, they set the blueprint for what's going to happen going forward. Every year, vets are going to come out the woodwork looking to win championships with this young roster. And when I say young, we're talking about 22, 23 years old, like, Aliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark. What happens when they're 25 and 26 and they have spent years in the gym, years, basically like setting the tempo in the league of what is going to be. Like, I'm so excited to watch the rest of their careers play out. And then eventually, we don't know what will happen with Kelsey Mitchell in the future. She is older, like she's off the timeline a little bit of the young squad, but they're going to be able to run it up while she's here as well. So like, this is going to be the beginning, and I think the genesis of a dynasty, and just one of the more notable sports teams that I think we will get, in America right now. The NBA, there are a lot of different issues with it, and maybe some of those got solved with that Luka Doncic trade. I'm not sure, but the movement in the WNBA this offseason has been so exciting to follow, and I think it has been a situation where it won't always happen like this, because a lockout usually is not sitting on the other side of a season like it is right here. So these 1-year deals make this a very unique scenario to keep people excited about transactions, moves, the possibilities. And then once the CBA is signed and these teams begin locking their players in, for years to really develop them together and really, earn those stripes and those bonds, I think is going to be a very fun league to watch. I feel like the deck is getting shuffled, and there's a lot of interesting teams. I am sad, however, that the Indiana Fever will not get their long-awaited revenge on the Connecticut Sun, as the Connecticut Sun has been sunset, so to say. All their players have been dispersed throughout the league. DeWanna Carrington traded to the Wings, so I know the Wings Fever games are going to be heated, to say the least. I hope everybody welcomes Alyssa Smith back, and then whatever you want to do with DeWanna Carrington, you do go ahead and do that. I like Alyssa Smith, but DeWanna Bonner comes in, obviously familiar with the coach, played under Stephanie White last year, been all around the league, seen it all, done it all, and is really even more like than Natasha Howard. You got two of those voices, and two people to pass off that experience that can help this very young team discover themselves. Who are the champions that they are going to be? And boy, I bet they are excited to play in front of the rowdiest crowd in the league. I bet they are excited to sell out every road game and join a team that is unlike any other in league history. So what do you think about DeWanna Bonner joining, the Indiana Fever here? 1-year deal. What do you make of the front office's moves all throughout this thing? Like, think about the new moves. They flipped Alyssa Smith, Temi Fagbenle. It seems like Erica Wheeler may be out the door. I'm not sure. For Sophie Cunningham, Natasha Howard, DeWanna Bonner, and Jaylen Brown. I love it. I love it. So let's get it. Let's get it. May, hurry up. Let's get to it. And, I'll be here to cover it all. So I'll holla at y'all. Peace. It's Rich. Holla.